Okay. Okay, I trust you guys can hear me well. Okay. So I know that this video pretty much just now, although I actually watched it already, but I figure I may as well provide my thoughts over the span of the video. But anyway, Shadow Viper Gaming made a video titled "Rosalia is extremely underpowered." Here's how Ninja Kiwi can fix that. Ninja Kiwi being abbreviated, probably for character limit. I had to check if adding the Ray part for indicating a response gets anywhere close to the 100. Uh, right, I should focus on this. So yeah, as we know, there's been vocal outcry about Rosalia being undertuned, and yeah, it's actually well founded, which is more than what I can say about what people said about Etienne, because Etienne at its innate at its level 8 camel provision globally from the start. It wasn't suddenly added. No. It allowed him to provide support for the TPS cross passing, which is where I think Spy Plane should do more than damage camels better. By the way, but right. So yeah, my own thoughts is that Rosalia does have unique strengths, but she's still needs some. She's still needing some critical performance improvements. She's still needing. Yeah, because the performance improvements in particular, because her performance is just. Why can she not hold DDTs on her own on round 90? Just. Excuse me? I may as well go into this.
In Update 43, Ninja Kiwi added a new hero to BTD6,
Naturally.
Rosalia, the Tinkerer who uses a jetpack, a laser cannon, and grenades. Now previously, I made a video talking about her Guardian Automaton perk and how useless it really is. But now previously, I made a video talking
back
about...
to showcase this. Rosalia's level 20 perk is borderline useless. Yeah, the guy showcased that. I believe this was the showcase of how it was it's a nightmare to make use of it on a chip's gauge. Because you have to spend so much money on Energizer, and then getting. Wait, do you have to spend money on getting Rosalia to level 20? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You have to spend so much money on Energizer. You have to hope that Rosalia and Energizer can hold against plenty of threats, and no, it's really not happening. And then you end up saving 20,000, I think, on one specific tower type. I mean, I think people laser focus on the Guardian Automaton. I think people focus on the Guardian Automaton because it's talked about first. Rosalia does have other benefits to reaching level 20. Her activations are actually boosted. Well, not flight boostness. I don't think flight boost is boosted, but scatter missiles definitely is boosted. Kinetic charge definitely is boosted. So, I think Guardian Automaton should have been made more appealing. I can agree there, but I want to say that Guardian Automaton is really meant to be a free play benefit. That said, Rosalia could stand other buffs with these aspects because because the most that gets involved with her, the most that gets involved with her discounting is Flying Fortress discounting. And that's because Flying Fortress is extremely expensive. Whatever.
About her Guardian Automaton perk and how useless it really is. But since then, I've gotten a ton of comments on that video talking about her other weaknesses and how she really isn't that good of a hero overall. And
Yeah. Yeah, those complaints are not unfounded. I'm going to say, wait, Mart Donkey? You switched around the first letter, didn't yeah. Complaints about Rosalia's performance is. There are valid complaints about Rosalia's performance because what was it? Because I'm going to say this. I've actually tried it. Some pseudo Two Towers Chimps combinations other than Wizard Lord Phoenix. Archmage actually falls apart. The Ice Towers fall apart. I mean, Super Brittle. The Super Brittle doesn't even. Super Brittle fails because that extra damage does not. Extra damage is actually diminished, and you're relying on Rosalia to do everything. Cryo Cannon, I forget why it falls apart. I want to say it has to do with the reduced rate of fire because for camo cross passing, because you do have to camo cross pass with Cryo Cannon. And by the way, Rosa Ice Two Towers Chimps would actually bricks on round 37 anyway because of camo white. So here's the requirements for Two Towers Chimps with Rosalia where things stand. The second tower has to hit camos. Goes without saying, Rosalia can never do anything about camos on her own. The second tower has to hit both leads and purples. Because, again, Rosalia can't do anything about leads or purples. So that's fun. And the second tower actually has to be good enough in the 90s, which you're unlikely to find with any tier 5 that costs below $50,000 base in total. I mean, Wizard Lord Phoenix gets somewhere because they have power reflecting upon their price. But Archmage, I mean, Wizard Lord Phoenix is still not Rosalia Wizard Lord Phoenix is not a true Two Towers Chimps because with Rosalia Wizard Lord Phoenix, Lord Phoenix, the mage can't hit purples the entire time except with the tier 5 meteors, which doesn't exactly do anything about the round 45 purples or round 45 camo purples. That's what the combination bricks on. The camo purples on round 45. Not that the round 48 camo regrow purples are anything to be complacent about. And they ain't last long enough too, so to be a problem, but what else? I'm trying Archmage. He falls apart. Prince of Darkness definitely falls apart because he ends up. So yeah, Prince of as I was saying, Prince of Darkness falls apart. Prince of Darkness falls apart on the BAD. Because the DDT, because the BAD layer is popped way too late, or is it even popped at all? I forget. It doesn't matter. I think it gets popped too late, and that causes the DDTs to come in completely unhindered. Because the Prince of Darkness is thumb wounds have completely expired at that point, and yeah, you're just dead. You're just dead. The 2 DDT children will just kill you. Or, I think it was 3 DDT children, actually. Whatever the case. Silver Monkey Fan Club is out of the question. I tried Master Bomber with Camel Crosspath, but that falls about on round 49, and you can forget about it, top Crosspath, because you would need the D-Camo at this point in the game. Actually, I should try the pseudo 2cc to see if that's happening at all. Let's see. True it. Wait, you serious? Alchemist. Yeah, let me know when Alchemist is a freaking camel green, let alone the DDTs. Good luck with that. Let's see. All the Dark Monkey cross paths are going to be ineffective. Even Crossbow Master would be a stretch at the very best, which with Rosalia's ineffectiveness at level 20, yeah. And forget about all of the other primary family Dark Monkeys. They don't even hit camels. Well, except for Glue Strike and Glue Storm. Yeah, Glue Gunner at the second tower. I'm sure Solo Glue would survive round 6 somehow. Somehow. Sniper. Wait, you serious? Submarine. Tried Energizer. Doesn't work. And the other two cross paths. The other two paths are farcical as well. So not happening. Boats. The only one I can see is Pirate Lord, and I don't even. I think Pirate Lord's been nasty now. It wouldn't matter anyway. It probably wouldn't matter. And as for the support family powers, so there's like. Actually, the only one that's even affordable on round 6 is Engineer. And the only path that gets camo detection is middle path on the 3rd upgrade, so yeah, saving up for ultra boost. Good luck! So yeah, there's some very poor 2000 chimps potential, except maybe Wizard Lord Phoenix, possibly Master Bomber, but I wouldn't even count on it. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Master Bomber still falls off in the 90s. But whatever.
As I used her more, I realized that the comments were right. She really isn't that good, especially compared to the last couple heroes that got added to this game.
Yeah, after Geraldo and Corvus, Rosalia doesn't have as much of a punch. And, well, I know that Geraldo does have Geraldo things. Corvus, I don't have much experience on, but I've heard good things about him. But Rosalia now, wait, let's run that by me again.
She really isn't that good of a hero overall.
Oh yeah.
And as I used
I remember what I want to talk about.
Right, she really isn't that good, especially compared to the last couple heroes that got added to this game.
So I'm going to get into what I was wanting to talk about. I really want to get to what I was wanting to. I would really want to get to what I was wanting to talk about. Right. Right. Rosalia can use enhanced laser to push back specific targets, and you can micro her so that, like, you can micro her around here. She will reach, and if you can get her to reach blimps here, but not ceramics here, then you can get some decent results. Yeah, that's just an example. Like place Rosalia where she will shoot Moab specifically on around like 98. You'd be surprised how much that could help.
I feel like Ninja Kiwi was trying to overcompensate for how overpowered they made Geraldo and Corvus at first, and so they made Rosalia a bit too weak. So this video is basically just me going over a few balance changes that I would like Ninja Kiwi to add for Rosalia. Some of them came from me, and some of the ideas came from the comments. I will credit wherever necessary.
Yeah, you do that.
Now, to be clear, I have several ideas for this, but I feel like if Ninja Kiwi added all of them, Rosalia would be way too powerful. So I just feel like it's basically a pick-two situation. Choose whichever two of these you like the most, and then Rosalia would be kind of balanced. But anyway.
I did provide a lot of rebound suggestions. Rosalia's targeting options should affect her chasing. It actually does affect her chasing. I think Flight Boost was bugged to not. I think Flight Boost was bugged originally to not be affected by Rosalia's targeting. I wouldn't know for sure. It's definitely not the case anyway. Not in the in-between patch. So not in the current in-between patch. So patch version 43.3 for reference. Yeah, what was I wanting to talk about?
Ninja Kiwi added all of them, Rosalia would be way too powerful. So I just feel like it's basically a pick-two situation. Choose whichever two of these you like the most, and then Rosalia would be kind of balanced. But anyway.
Right, so what I was wanting to talk about is that I made a whole host of suggestions for rebalancing Rosalia. But aside from one, having Flight Boost provide innate camo, if there's one thing I had to prioritize other than that, it would be for Adrenaline Rush to have better boost, because gosh, Adrenaline Rush is just awful. It's just forgettable where it stands. The idea isn't awful, but that's what it is, an idea. Yeah, what do I expect involving from Rosalia?
Wait, let's get into it. So I'm not going to go over this one too much because I've already discussed it quite a bit, but my first suggestion does relate to Guardian Automaton. There was a lot of discussion in the comments about this one. Some people thought it should be moved to an earlier level, some people thought the discount should be increased massively, some thought it should...
I'd be fine with Guardian Automaton being moved to an earlier level. I don't think it's a top priority. Whatever the case, I think level 20 in general should be better, because Rosalia can't even hold around 90 efficiently. Just why? I know Quincy can't hold around 90 either. Ever. Not without MI beam, but why does scatter missiles deal basically no damage to DDTs? Huh? Alright, so before you even buy the cheaper anti-balloon, you can afford the full price version, because Rosalia isn't level 20 yet. Such a stupid hero level. I gave it.
Apply to other towers and other levels. Some people thought the discount should be increased massively. Some thought it should apply to other towers, and others thought it should just be removed altogether.
Testing isn't easy, by the way. I'll make this clear. I think the testing capability tracks to how toxic gaming communities can get. Like just that last night, I tried to showcasing about my rebounds this topic on the Ninja Kiwi Discord, and what was it? And I was met with a lot of elitism about the whole topic. Just go away, albatross arguments. You're not fun.
My personal opinion is that it does seem to be a bit random of a buff and not really that good of one. However, it would be a lot more useful if it was moved to an earlier level. Personally, I think it should be moved to level 16. I also think it would be cool if it applied to Sentry Champion in the Tech Terror, mainly because Rosalia's theme is basically an experimental tinkerer, and those are definitely experimental towers considering the
Actually, level 16, I have to wonder if that would be overkill, because level 16, I don't know. Because isn't Anti-Balloon a tier 5 super monkey to begin with? I guarantee it would be expensive enough that a money save at any point before level 20 would be big.
Sentry Champions literally explode. Of course, if it applies to multiple towers and it's at a level that it can actually be achieved, 30% discount is a little bit too overpowered. I personally think if that was implemented, it should be reduced to 20%. Feel free to leave your opinions in the comments.
I could see a revamp for Guardian Automaton be less expensive. Yeah, that much I'll make clear.
However, as a counterpoint, Guardian Automaton's level 20 would be less of an issue if level 20 was more achievable. And that brings me to my...
I do not think that Rosalia needs faster leveling. She just needs to have acceptable performance for her level rate. Because she has some absolute fall off in late game. Well, aside from the laser thing. Not to say that she isn't capable of doing something across all, against all 10 digits. Like level 30, like the 30, she can hit everything. You just have to micro her. 40, hold on. 40s and beyond, she can permanently focus on the laser. I mean, I don't think she should be forced to default to the laser, but gosh. I really think she should be a fast leveling hero like Etienne Quincy. Oh yeah. On round 62, you could have her on grenades. I think you'd want to have her on last so that she can mince the grenade, mince the purples there. Well, in case you're using towers that hit only purples.
My second suggestion. Change Rosalia's leveling curve. I know that sounds a bit radical, but hear me out. If Rosalia was able to reach level 20 naturally by the end of a chimps game on higher end maps, Guardian Automaton might actually be a viable buff as you use anti-balloon for those strategies. And
I don't think level 20 should be buffed specifically because of a Guardian Automaton. Because I can point this out. Rosalia is meant to be a utility hero, but her performance is still a problem. And it's causing a lot of confusion.
historically speaking, stuff like that has happened before.
Because let's make this clear. Why? Because why is it? Why laser focus on Guardian Automaton to begin with, anyway? Just Yeah, I don't get it. And
For
yeah,
Etienne and Geraldo both have XP rates that are the same as the base hero rate. Of course,
I can point out that I recall Brickell having had her level rate changed up at some point. I believe it was nerfed. But whatever the case.
if Guardian Automaton is all the way on level 20, that would still lead to it being unlocked pretty late, but if you got the Energizer, it would be unlocked way sooner with the base XP rate. Of course, Guardian Automaton aside, I feel like that would just be a really good change overall to make Rosalia more viable as a hero. She's mostly outclassed by other heroes in a lot of things otherwise.
Like Open? Oh wait, Open provides camo to Druid. You could actually beat carton dogs with Open and 3 Druids now. And they do not tell me that that's impossible, because I literally have done that. It was in direct response to Blair Bloom's own. It was in direct response to Blair Bloom's own challenge video about Open and 3 Druids on Tree Stump. And I can particularly point out that Open gets is level 7 sooner, so his Brambles coming up short on the round 33 camels is not as much of a problem there. They no longer come up short, which means that Oven is not subject to RNG garbage. Next.
I mean, with the slow leveling, Rosalia is like a mix between a DPS and support hero that isn't that good with support and not even that good with DPS either. Rosalia's main use at this point is a cheaper flying fortress. That's
Moab pushback on round 98.
pretty much it. And one of the reasons she isn't that good for DPS is the reason I'll mention in my next point. Camo detection. Okay.
Now the camel detection thing. Now the lack of camel detection for anything from Rosalia is a problem. The only thing Rosalia can do to detect to do anything about camels is discounting given towers, and not the most effective gesture out there. I mean, she's still better than Adora in addressing camels by dint of making Ace and Helly more available. But oh yeah, that's another thing. You can't start with Ace or Helly, so a true 2 hours chance with Rosalia and either Ace or Helly on any path, it is not happening. It's simply impossible.
Okay, hear me out on this one. Rosalia is a technological genius. She's invented a jetpack, she's invented a cluster grenade launcher, and she's invented a high-powered laser cannon that can push back ZOMGs.
Yeah, that much is true. It's why she's basically utility-based, why she can push back things, including blimps with her enhanced laser. Honestly, the enhanced laser just needs to be better. Honestly, Rosalia's other aspects just need to be better, and the whole pushing back Moab thing just needs to be a bit better emphasized as well. Rosalia just needs options, that's all.
Why doesn't she have camo seeking technology equivalent to what snipers have had for a literal decade?
Yeah. I believe snipers in the original Bloomstar have been 6 versions. I believe they had camo detection on an upgrade, night vision goggles, and they eventually had camo. Night vision goggles in Bloomstar Defense 6 eventually got camo bonus damage, so that ends up helping them out in getting rid of camels.
Now, do I think she should have camo detection from level 1? Maybe, maybe not. I'm undecided. It seems a little overpowered. But should she have it from at least level 7, where she canonically gets goggles over her face that could probably have some kind of Iron Man-like interface with Jarvis and could definitely see infrared? Absolutely. Put the camo on her then, at least.
Yeah. I actually suggest. Well, I should point out that I actually suggest for flight boost to provide camo detection for duration to Rosalia and Aces and Hallies. It would actually give something to the Ace and Hallies cross pass. Ace and Hallie would. Right. True 2 Towers Chims with Rosalia Ace. Yeah, with Rosalia and any Ace or Hallie would still be impossible. But where was I? Yeah. Camo detection for Ace and Hallie. Camo detection for Ace and Hallie. Already nearby Aces and Hallie rather. That would be massive improvement. And while I'm at it, this idea applying to the Guardian Automaton would also about the Guardian Automaton, because wouldn't you know it, you could just put the designated anti on top cross path, and that would save a lot of trouble. Or actually, I think attempts to have a anti-balloon would have the anti-balloon on the top cross path anyway. But that aside,
I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me that she can't see camo when there are a lot of things in the game that are less technologically advanced that easily can. And not to mention, it wouldn't even be out of line for her because other heroes have weird camo interactions. Oben, who can't see camo himself, gives camo to druids now. Why can't Rosalia have camo?
Yeah, and the thing that bites the most is that scatter missiles can't do anything about camo, ever. Not without external aid. And kinetic charge is in the same boat. What? What? Oh, and speaking of scatter missiles, it always has explosive damage type, so it can't even damage it. What is this? What? What?
Okay, moving on to my fourth point. I feel like Rosalia should be able to attack when moving from one point to another. That's just something I feel like they should add. It would be a huge quality of life thing. It would make Rosalia micro way easier, and she would just be way better overall. To attack when moving from one point. Okay, moving on to my fourth point. I feel like Rosalia should be able to attack when moving from one point to another. That's just something I feel like they should add. It would be a huge quality of life thing. It would make Rosalia micro way easier, and she would just be way better overall.
100% agree. Because let me tell you something. Rosalia not being able to attack while in the middle of shifting position really bites in a flood. It's a significant reason why round 49 bites. Significant reason why round 49 bites for her.
The fact that she doesn't currently have that honestly makes her way worse because you can't even Rosalia micro properly. If she could attack while moving, you could move her while balloons get past and maybe catch them on the other side, but if she doesn't attack, then they just slip right past, and that's a major weakness. I Ninja Kiwi said that they didn't want to make Rosalia too micro heavy. But the amount of likes on this comment saying that they made her micro heavy and bad, I think speaks a lot to how the community thinks of her as a whole.
To be fair, Rosalia doesn't require you to go into an alternate window like Geraldo and Corvus do, but... what was it? I will say that Rosalia does have options, but the micro concept is itself not too terribly complicated, especially if you played Kingdom Rush. Like, if you played Kingdom Rush, you're probably familiar with sending out guide from barracks and maneuvering around the track. And Rosalia is not restricted to the track. No, you can. Well, she can't go on the track or above water or other such terrain until she's ground bound until level 7. I would actually move that to level 8, which would be an inoffensive nerf because Rosalia is still very good against the round 40 Moab. Anyway. I think an important aspect with micro is that you want to make decisions that maximize. You want to make decisions that have. You want to have your individual decisions that have maximized effectiveness. Like that example with the round 98 Moab. You could move her to a forward position. You could ever set on first. And watch Rosalia shoot the Moab specifically. Like, move her right here, thereabouts. She won't reach the track, but she will. She won't reach ceramics on the track here, but she will reach Moabs on the track here. Because Moabs are bigger than ceramics, and thus Rosalia hit them more easily. Boom. Oh. And it's very good to hit the Moab specifically because they don't take extra damage from. They don't take extra damage. They don't take. They don't take extra ceramic damage because they're not ceramics. They won't get targeted by towers on strong if anything. If anything stronger is on range, such as the BFBs and COMGs. If you have Rosalia here, and her melee tornado range works in your favor for having her hit Moab specifically. Which is why I think. Why I think permanent flight boost is a bad idea, by the way. Yeah, spoiler alert. Yeah, so there are ways to minimize the decisions involved with micro, and so that you can get to handling your other towers. You just have to understand what's going on, really.
Anyway, moving on from that, we have this suggestion in the comments that I didn't think of myself. Credit to the people in the comments who thought of this one because I don't think I ever would have. But what if, at level 20, Rosalia gained the ability to always be pursuing...
Again, bad idea. Because when she's on Energizer, or jetpack ability is upgraded, you can basically use it forever. I think if anything, I do not think Flight Boost should be permanently active. That's a bad idea at any point because that reduces gameplay. It reduces gameplay. Having Flight Boost active is significant, and it ruins the idea of having Rosalia placed where she can shoot Moab specifically, like I mentioned. Yeah, I've heard other people say just give her the free global jetpack movement for level 20, and I think it would be more fun with that. Oh. I see. Yeah. Global jetpack movement. I can actually agree with that. When she's on Energizer and her jetpack ability is upgraded, she can basically use it forever. So I think that level 20 should be permanent pursuit on balloons, and make the jetpack ability attack. But I do not agree with the pseudo pursuit, with the permanent pseudo pursuit. No, that doesn't. That's a problem. Because where are you going to have Rosalia placed to shoot Moab specifically? Yeah, good luck with that. And hey, that one could just make it a toggle. Unfortunately, Rosalia already has two specials: the weapons toggle and the movement toggle. So that would complicate things already. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it should not be permanently on. Yeah. I would not object to Flight Boost having. I would not object to Flight Boost having lengthened duration. Mind you, I just want Rosalia to be able to consider between flight. I just want Rosalia to be able to consider not using Flight Boost so that she can actually shoot the Moab specifically, like I mentioned. Because the Moabs can be the particularly dangerous part of round 98. Right. So, getting back to reading the comments. I wish Ninja Kiwi pulled an ETN with the level 20 and made her constantly have her jetpack ability on so she could fly around the whole map. I do not agree with top 1 Tippy here.
The balloons as if the level 7 ability is always active. It is possible to be always active anyway with Energizer, so I just feel like that would be a quality of life thing more than anything. Of course, if she always had the flight speed boost to aces and stuff while that was up, that would be a bit too overthing. Of course, if she always had the flight speed boost to aces and stuff while that was up, that would be a bit too overpowered, so maybe save that for when the actual ability Energizer, so I just feel like that would be a quality of life thing more than anything. Of course, if she always had the flight speed boost to aces and stuff while that was up, that would be a bit too overpowered, so maybe save. Of course, if she always had the flight speed boost to aces and stuff while that was up, that would be a bit too overpowered, so maybe.
Not sure what you're doing.
Maybe save that for when the actual ability is activated, and then the ability can come with upgraded weapons. I just feel like that'd be a really good change overall, and might make that a bit more interesting.
Yeah, I'm confused on that part.
And now for one of my personal favorite ideas, Ninja Kiwi probably will not add this one because even to me it feels a little bit overpowered, but for 5,000 monkey money, I do feel like Rosalia should be a game changer. The truths are more expensive than that, but...
What the blazes is killing my RAM anyway? Hang on, let me kill Lady Cell. Yeah, I had the Lady Cell utility for Super Mario RPG SNES active.
Then Rosalia would actually be... But I'm just speculating here. What if Rosalia added a buff to flying towers? She's most...
I could see a minor buff to Aces and Hellies, actually. That's it, Yeah, yeah. I could see a minor buff to aces and hellies. Nothing ridiculous because Flying Fortress is still a thing forever. But even a minor attack speed buff would be something. Although that wouldn't do anything about true 2 towers chimps. And we already have a 2TCC. What's the second C stand for? Anyway, but anyway, there's a Rosalia Flying Fortress, 2 towers, double seat and run. I'm not sure what the C stand for, but it's basically 2 towers chimps, but they start on a round where one of the towers is affordable, or would be affordable, popping everything at the tower could be placed. Oh, co-op. Okay.
Mostly flying tower focused anyway with her aircraft efficiency and whatnot. So what if at high level she actually gained a small buff to them? Maybe it's only active with her level 7 ability or something. Like
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm suggesting. Only active with the level 7 ability. That's exactly what I'm suggesting for Flight Boost providing camo detection. To both Rosalia and the Aces and Hellies, because the camo detection would be more than enough for Rosalia Wizard Lord Phoenix. I've actually proven as much. Because I had the village near only Rosalia, but not the Wizard Lord Phoenix. So the Wizard Lord Phoenix doesn't get the range boost from the village. He doesn't get the camo detection, so the camo busting is all on him. And as for Rosalia, yeah. And I'm careful to allow for replication of the idea. Without radar village, of course. So. Because I can also point out that with the idea of having Rosalia shoot Moab specifically on rounds like 98, the extra range from Village could actually work against her. So that's something. And I'm not even worried about key DDT on the side for maybe 95 because what was it? Wizard Lord Phoenix kicks butt against DDTs. As long as you have the activation for round 99, you're all good on the fortified DDTs on round 99.
what if the level 7 ability is just normal at first, but then at like level 12 or something, while the ability is active, all aces and helicopters get +1 pierce or something, and then at like level 18, it can be upgraded to also give them +1 damage while the ability is active.
Okay. Other nerfs that get upgraded. I think Flight Boost is very capable of being good in general. It just needs some blatant improvement. Like if you give Rosalia a move in order while she has Flight Boost active, she wastes some of the Flight Boost. She won't attack during the movement order, and yeah, that could be a bit of a problem. So let me catch up on your comments. I'm guessing the person is thinking, make her work on a helicopter. It's the goal of the balance to make her able to beat gyms or go into free play. Free. I think Rosalia should be able to have some confidence in chimps. I mean, the way chimps is designed, I would think that some micro one would be expected. Just, hopefully not too much, but definitely something more. Definitely something that feels rewarding. Just, should have camera let DDT destruction. Yeah, Rosalia. Because I can point this out. Rosalia, again, scatter missiles doesn't even damage black balloons or zebra balloons or DDTs. Unless you give Rosalia MIB, of course, but without MIB, yeah, scatter missiles does nothing to DDTs. That's a good part of why round 90 is impossible with just Rosalia and Radar Village and Energizer. Just why? Also, the grenades, not. Also, the grenades still being explosion time all the way to level 20. Rosalia can end up chasing a black balloon down or zebra balloon down in the 90s. That's a miserable experience. I swear to the sun god. Yeah. She should be able to handle DDTs or round 98 if she wants to be good in free play. Because what are you saving on anti-balloon? $20,000? It did it with just using Energizer. Just no.
And what if the +1 damage and pierce were permanent at level 20, along with aircraft efficiency being upgraded to 10% decrease?
So, a discount increase to 10%. That would actually buff Flying Fortress a bit, wouldn't it? But whatever the case, I would approve of Flight Boost providing more buffs, but I think Flight Boost would still have good potential. I think Flight Boost still has good potential. The grenades just need to suck less.
Now, like I said earlier, this would be a bit overpowered, and I'm not suggesting all of the things I've talked about so far be added at the same time. This probably would not work well with the advanced hero scaling because it would be reached way too early.
Actually, come to think of it, Ace Bars 8 darts. Oh, wait. I was thinking projectile count, but Ellie, I don't think has a heavy projectile count. What about attack speed for? What about attack speed for the as a whole for aces and allies when under flight boost? Just
But I just think that would be a fun change that would put Rosalia deep into the support category. And I mean, heroes like Brickle have some major buffs, so I feel like this wouldn't be too out of line for a hero focused on flying towers. So this next change here is a bit out of pocket. I definitely was not expecting this one at all, but now that I think about it, it might be a fun concept. Ninja Kiwi probably wouldn't use it, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. So this comment here says, shortly after Rosalia launched, I had a
let's see.
dream where level 20 also allowed having a second anti-bloom, similar to that one Crossbow Master Monkey Knowledge. It wouldn't fix the issue of that perk being mostly useless, but I found it to be maybe fun idea if combined with other buffs. Now, in all honesty, I don't know how useful of a buff that would be, and I do think that would be a fun thing more than anything, because in chimps, unless you have like a perfect strategy, you are not affording 2 anti-blooms, and if you can, it would be far enough in the run that you are better off using a Zilly for sure.
Yeah. buffs that a Guardian Automaton would not instantly fix Rosalia. And there's also the issue. There's also the issue. There's also the potential issue of description below. Like, level 7 already has 4 lines when you go over Rosalia's hero card. Rosalia's tower card. Wait. What did the upgrades? I forget.
Of course, in other modes, that would be interesting because then you
anyway.
could probably get 2 anti-blooms with farming, but if you're going for something like a VTSG or whatever, you probably would be better off not using that. You could just use a Dora or something because of the buffs. I'm sorry guys, I finally went outside and touched grass for the first time in 27 years yesterday, and I got the living sunburned out of me. I am not making that mistake again. I am in a lot of pain right now. Anyway, those are pretty much most of the ideas I've had. The other ones aren't even really that good. If you have any other ideas, make sure to leave them in the comments. Maybe Ninja Kiwi will see might make Rosalia better in update 44.
Hopefully.
And like I said earlier, if all these buffs were implemented at once, Rosalia would be way too powerful, especially if you had the quicker leveling combined with the buffs to aces and stuff.
And again, I do not agree with quicker leveling. I think Rosalia just needs better performance because why is the level 20? Why is the level 20 grossly inept? Why is Rosalia at level 20 still grossly inept for the 90s in general? Just she can't hold DDTs on her own without MIB. She can't do well against the blimp parades in the 90s. She's just
But it's just a bunch of suggestions, and if Ninja Kiwi used a couple of these, I would honestly be really flattered. If I had to pick any 2 out of all the ones I've said so far personally, I think I would use camo detection and quicker leveling, because if she got camo detection from level 1 and leveled up quicker, she would be an honestly really good hero for a bunch of chimps runs, but that's...
level 7 camo detection would actually. Level 1 camo detection, I want to say would be a little much, but level 7, effectively having camo detection at level 7 onwards would still be good. It would still be very helpful. But I don't agree with quicker leveling because Rosalia's issues come with her performance, not... Quincy got buffed for a reason. At one point, its Storm of Arrows now deal extra damage to ceramics, a lot of it at that, because they were feeling like junk against super ceramics. Oven now provides camo detection for nearby druids. That's also powerful enough. So, Quincy's only problem is DDTs, but I'm giving him a break. He's not meant to be perfect in his usability. He just... Okay, he still says nothing gets past my bow. But I think if DDT definitely will if he's not under MIT, but... That's what the other towers are for, because Quincy is still inexpensive. And he also has a quick level rate, so... And bonus damage to blimps. So... Actually, I should check if his bonus damage to blimps applies to DDT when he's under the MIB. Whatever the case.
That's just my ideas.
Yeah. Rosalia, her problem isn't the level rate. It's just the general 90s performance. Aside from the niche of hitting Aside from the niche of conveniently hitting Moabs, specifically on around like 98, which is uniquely valuable. Like, pushing them back is uniquely valuable. Even if it's every 10 shots, it's still... Like Rosalia pushes back the Moabs, and then... And that's less... And that's a lot more space for towers who are cleaning up the super ceramics. What other hero has that sort of utility to the same degree as Rosalia had?
And I would honestly love to hear your guys' ideas as well. If you could only pick 2 of the buffs out of the ones I've mentioned so far, which 2 would you pick? And if you can think of any other ones, what would you pick for buffs? Make sure to let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. And honestly, once Rosalia inevitably gets buffed, because no way she doesn't get buffed, honestly, Ninja Kiwi kind of has to buff her, it'll be interesting to see if any of these ideas end up getting added. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, make sure to use my creator code in the BTD shop so I can finally afford ROM. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. You're an absolute legend if you've made it.
Thanks for watching, Mixer. Advertising stuff. I think I may as well get into the comments. Because I did post my I did repost my suggestion here. The sequel wasn't originally planned, but there were just too many good suggestions in the comments for them to go unrecognized. Yeah. How do you think Rosalia should be rebounds? Comment below. Unrelated to this comment, but you probably should change the word that before and Rosalia to how instead of that, because that. Actually, let me refresh this real quick. In case I need it. Oh! 9 new comments came up since I started streaming. Okay. She should up aircraft further and top and at engineers as well. Get camo and change to level 22. Level 3 ability can stun Moab class balloons. Level 7 ability gets more speed. Level 10 ability stuns other Moabs. And then on the explosion and I think the grenades should eventually get to stun Moabs, actually. Well, Moabs specifically, and also ceramics, but Moabs, as far as blimps go, are actually also DDTs. That way, Flight Boost is better against them. Level 7 ability gets more speed. Yeah. Rosalia's flight movement should be faster in general. It's just, why does it feel language on fast forward? Level 10 ability stun the other mobs, those and then damage and pierce buffs for normal attacks. The thing is, Moabs that get in, any Moabs that get caught by kinetic charge already get their leer destroyed. Even the BFEs won't have much durability left, even if they're fortified. And especially if the kinetic charge target is hit for enough damage. Damage and pierce buffs for her normal attacks. Maybe more workshop range, but I think it's not needed. I can agree with increased workshop range eventually. It's really the grenades, as far as the normal attacks go, it's really the grenades that need buffing. The laser is actually solid. The grenades just needs more reason to default to them. Enemy Mero. Her damage could be increased in most levels. Aircraft efficiency could be moved to level 1 so you can discount to put her at a Halia array sooner. I wouldn't mind aircraft efficiency being moved to level 1. But whatever. Or level 6. Or actually level 5. Right. The aircraft efficiency is currently level 6, by the way. Oh. Yeah, Gwen gives great lips up trigger buff bombs. Every other tower has a need that goes beyond the base. I, oh yeah, I should mention, Petty does push back Moabs, but he's locked to one position the entire time. Scythe activation does push back Moabs as well at level 14. But, yeah, using the level... Yeah, using his level 10 activation. So, but Rosalia is able to do Moab pushback semi-passively, and it's controllable as well, so that would definitely be useful. That's definitely useful as it is. It's just that just performance issues elsewhere. She could give camel detection to helis or aces in range. Then at level 10, where you most likely already have helis or aces at higher levels, aircraft efficiency can be upgraded to also get more pierce and flight speed at helis. Description bloat. I don't advise improvements at levels that are already involved. And the aces give them bigger projectiles and larger projectile lifespan in order to make sure stuff like Dark Storm will hit out more often. I'm not sure about the lifespan because if the ace is at some random corner of the map, okay, why would you have an ace at the random corner of the map? Bigger projectiles. I'm not sure that would fix anything. I think better attack speed would be cleaner than more pierce. That'll help because aces are meant to be bloodbusters. So they have that massive number of projectiles that's involved with the wild movement. It's not wild. It's not random. It's just wild. I think attack speed would be the happy medium between more pierce and more flight speed, or bigger projectiles, or larger projectile lifespan. Then at level 15, aircraft efficiency can be upgraded once again to give special effects to aces and allies in tier 5s. Such as, I saw this one from another guy, but it ticked with me, making guys rather like homing. Don't know about that again. Or can they start Boma and generate a thermal field that both pop even more wounds and clean up the surviving ceramics and mods that got destroyed? Is Sarfoma even good at this point? I don't know. A Passion could get more damage against ceramics to make him less bad against super ceramics. Plus more Razor Roller's attack speed and range. More possibilities. Maybe the last upgrade to aircraft efficiency could be distributed to multiple levels after 10. Just like Oven does different buffs to Druid Pass. Please, Ninja Kiwi, buff improved wrath, please! Improved wrath? I could say a focus on aces and allies, but I wouldn't mind some minor buffing Spike Factory. I wouldn't mind if Rosalia could apply some minor buffing to Spike Factory, Tax Shooter, and and maybe both. I don't know. I made my own comment. I provided my own list of suggestions, yeah, as I did. I'll get to that. Long story short, I can say that Rosalia should have a suitable degree of camel detection. Grammar error there. But it wouldn't fix all of her problems, and a faster leveling curve would only break her character when she doesn't even handle DDT that well at all, getting to the point where even level 20 fails miserably against round 90. Yep. I'll be streaming my response to this video as well. Enemy to me, I'll watch it. Yep. Noob Love says, I think she should make a song. Show comment. Fun Crash says, at 242, not true.
The cheaper Flying Fortress. That's pretty much it. And one of the...
Well, for all intents and purposes, I agree with Fun Crash Melodies. Again, pushing back at Moab on round 98. And I mean Moab specifically, not the painful ceramics. Normally when they release a new hero, it starts overpowered, so the community can have fun before they nerf it. I think Shinny's Don Michaels at 7062 meant to say normally. I don't want to play Grammar Police. I think going on the list of suggestions that there's quite a few of them. Only K-Flow says level 20 should be reworked too. I can agree there. If only because people are laser focusing on the Guardian Automaton thing. Rosalia has other benefits for reaching level 20 as well. Scatter Missile just needs to suck less. That's all. Superstorm 4228 says, personally, I wish Ninja Kiwi would add more tower buffs from heroes for all towers. Since it is fun to micromax your towers with hero buffs like Open, Striker, and even Gwen. Interesting. Oh, and I'm not reading out my suggestion yet. I'll talk about them once I get through the other comments. Total Loof says, I quite like Rosalia. Feels like one of the old-fashioned place them down then forget about them. Despite the jetpack and swapping mechanics, I just place her down and it just kind of works. Yes. Yeah, there we go. Somebody who gets it. Because if you place Rosalia in a good position, she's kicking butt and taking names. There's some performance issues with that idea, though. Because if you place her correctly, if you give her the correct weapon and everything, then yeah, you can reduce the micro involved and do things. It's really the grenade. It's really grenades needing a buff that needs to be done, because grenades, there's no reason to default to them. Or grenades are just too weak to do much of anything. And the bonus damage to ceramics doesn't exactly help against Moab, so yeah, that's fun. Obviously better heroes for that, but I prefer Rosalia for some reason. There we go. Magical Mage 85 says, Guardian Automaton is likely supposed to represent Rosalia as an engineer. So it's like a robot she helps to build, but keeping it only to tier 5 to convey this, so fails to convey this, so they could at least apply a smaller buff to tiers 3 and 4. I can actually agree there, although granted it wouldn't be of much help. Because the discount buff to tiers 3 and 4, well, eventually tiers 3 and 4 are less expensive. So I suppose that potentially spamming, what was it? I suppose that potentially spamming tech terrors in free play could be a thing. Right. That would be something at least. I mean, it wouldn't help. It still wouldn't help in chimps, but being able to build more tech, but you can always build more tech towers. So Sadie Thorne says, this list is only gonna add up for Ninja Kiwi taking L's. If you weren't a creator and played the event on a more competitive scale, you'd probably see why they're hurting their dedicated fans, just like Bells too. Good point. I don't know. Says, absolutely milking the other video. I'm jealous. Shadow Viper Gaming 43 as the video creator says, I really turned into a view farmer instead. I'm ashamed of myself. Crimsonite SP says, for what is advertised as a hero based on flying strategies, and realistically, what do you get as a hero that can be on the track and nothing more? I think the main things I'd like to see change is pretty much shooting while moving, better synergy with Ace and Halley. Yeah, I agreed with the better synergy with Ace and Halley, and smaller delays on her abilities. I can particularly point out that I'm pretty sure the most expensive. I'm pretty sure that I can point this out. Superstorm is bad against the BAD unless you have enough support to destroy the BAD layer. In which case, it eats the BAD's children alive. Tasty. And smaller delays on her abilities. I don't mind the delays on the abilities. I just mind scatter missiles continually damaging black balloons all the way to level 20. Or continually not damaging black balloons all the way to level 20. Kinetic Charge, the only real complaint I have about its performance is that it doesn't carry over to an additional round. So, I don't know why. Why? Like, I use it at the tail end of a round, and it doesn't carry over. And if I reload the save, if I reload the autosave, then yeah, Kinetic Charge will be in cooldown for the entire round, basically. Just, that's annoying. Shooting while moving, I absolutely agree. Right now, there's just not a reason to move her. Her abilities are good. Well, there is some reason to move her. But the real problem is the complication in moving her right now. Now, her abilities are good, but only when... Her abilities are good, but only when used preemptively. And a 5% discount isn't really impactful. Well, Kinetic Charge is supposed to be used preemptively. You're supposed to continually attack the target, like C will suggest. Sometimes. I think that should be made a little more clear. And scatter missiles, yeah, there is a delay on that, but I can point out that you're supposed to use Etion's drone swarm preemptively because Etion is technical. And also, you want to plan out, you can always want to plan out the UCAB usage because UCAB has such a long cooldown. Like, use it before round 61 starts, or he wipes the regrow zebras. Then, because if you use it anywhere in round 61, the UCAV will not be recharged in time on round 63, and it isn't necessarily strictly necessary, but gosh. I get it. If you move the discount to 10%, you get all 3 tiers and 30% cheaper with villages. But heroes are kind of meant to be the final playstyle, and she doesn't have one. Well, to an extent, Rosalia is meant to be utility, and she is able to push back Moabs in the 90s, like I keep pointing out. That and the flight speed boost is hardly noticeable, and they really don't care about that. Ace pretty much would care about the flight speed boost because that means that they will cover a certain portion of the track more often. But yeah, point taken on with Hellies. I'd actually like to see her natively give Aces the wing monkey knowledge, and allow Helly's always have pursuit instead. Like, I am not sure about changes like that. Something these both care about, well, not necessarily making them stronger. It wouldn't matter all the time, but Wing Monkey and Chimps is interesting. Maybe. Before watching, I think the dual wield WYP Man Game says, before watching, I think the dual wield is nonsense, especially the fact that she, when standing, tilt, or stationary, or flying tilt, is only able to use one weapon at a time. But if your ability to tell her to go pursue the balloons, she magically gets the skill to use both weapons, like while actively flying / moving around the map. It makes no sense why she shouldn't be able to dual wield when stationary or flying stationary, and it makes even less sense when she can only dual wield while pursuing. Well, to be fair, this is for balancing reasons. If she could dual wield, that would make her gameplay less unique. If anything, it should be opposite, where it's limited to only one weapon. So you get to the other hand for the jetpack and pursuit controls, realistically speaking. Games are realistic. That is purely from a realism standpoint, as well as the permanent dual wield, instead of it being limited to being the one thing that should make her stronger. Then the discount. It feels lackluster. Here's my suggestion for that. At level 10, Robo-Monkey gets 5% discount. Tech Terror gets 10% discount. Anti-Balloon gets 15% discount. Level 20, she loses the pursuit ability. Instead, it's on pursuit mode permanently, as well as giving Robo-Monkey a 10% discount. The Tech Terror and Tech Terror 20%, Anti-Balloon 30%. I'm not sure about that. Also at level 15 for bouncing thing, I don't think it should be lower or higher. The Ace/Ellie discount should also be double. Again, I am not sure about Ace discounting or even Heli discounting. Especially when tier 5s are discounted. Zion5268 says, I personally find it weird that there is no synergy with engineers, specifically Top Hat. I'd like to see that maybe reduce costs with Aces and Helis, maybe better protection of sentries, maybe give sentries camo detection. That should be on the table, at least. I think our weapon swapping gimmick is annoying. What if she had permanent dual wield at level 20 or earlier? I can point out about the gameplay, as I was meaning to point out that Etion gets a fourth drone eventually, which adds to the gameplay. Which adds gameplay, not subtracts it. Because that fourth drone is, I believe, on first, when under Divide and Conquer. And it's definitely on close when under Zone Defense. So, why remove gameplay where we don't have to? And as far as the weapon swapping goes, it can be annoying. But as I mentioned, you can just have Rosalia default to a weapon. Currently, she absolutely overfavors the laser because my goodness, she's still good at mauling the round 40 Moab, but you know what? I think the only thing Rosalia would really need to become strong would be if her adrenaline is, and then if demanding balloons tonight are terrible range, depending on how many farm balloons have gone along the track. Just like if Elite Defender I've seen our rate of fire increase from adrenaline rush on very rare occasions, and it's significant, but not completely unreliable. It's significant, but completely unreliable. Yeah. Adrenaline rush. I thank Gomez for mentioning about adrenaline rush because, my goodness, it's just, why is this so? Why is adrenaline just unreliable? Just what? Other good stuff would be camo detection from level 7 onwards and expanding the 5% discount to also affect engineers and spike factories. I would not object to expanding the discount to engineers and spike factories and also other buffs. Because expanding to engineer, that would also affect Ultra Boost. Ultra Boost has some issues going on where it stains. Oh, and yes, camel detection at level 70, even for flight boost being active and at the condition. Factorial. Make the level 20 Rosalia buff and Chigon's damage by 20%. Huh? I should catch up on your comments. Yeah. Very comparable to Etienne. Yeah, doesn't Gwen get the ability to buff purples at level 16? Yeah, Gwen does damage purples at level 16. Even Striker gets whack wound resistance at an early level, and it gives it the other explosive powers, and then complete immunity later. And yeah, that's another point. Etienne eventually gets the damage DDTs on its own with UCAV. I mean, granted, it's with the level 20 activation, but it's seriously. Yeah, buff for the sake of buff. Thank you about that point. Okay, so for the level 10 ability, I would like our kinetic charge to also drop a second explosion. Set by XShem. Inspired by infinite intelligence, anti-air special, ain't drop. It would work like a delayed explosion of unstable concoction, so it can double the as its cleanup ability / extra damage to its children's. I don't know. I think a second explosion would be very powerful. As it is, kinetic charge instantly kills more players in general in on round 100 and before. I'm pretty sure, and it does a lot of damage to BFBs as well, even fortified BFBs. Okay, hang on, 1.4 times 1400. So yeah, if kinetic charge deals 5, so the kinetic charge damage takes 500 damage, fortified BFB on round 98 would still get destroyed. And I don't think 500 damage is unrealistic, especially not if you mix in an activation like a Super Monkey Fan Club. Whatever the case. Smaller but earlier mechanical weapon improvements, or give it to Engine Paragon. It may fit there better. Like I say, the grenades should be improved in general. They should just rework her level 3 and 10 abilities, especially 10. The level 3 just takes too long to activate for such insignificant damage. I think they should either buff the damage a lot or make them faster to activate, but still buff the damage because before level 14 they are useless and it's not even up to debate. Level 10, for the love of God, please change the effects. I think kinetic charge just needs. I think kinetic charge just needs to be clear about its gameplay, because it's actually good gameplay. I've never seen such disrespect in visual and sound design. Well, times I can't even know where the bomb explodes because I hear nothing and see nothing. It's really, really bad. I would not object to UI improvements, actually. My idea for a gameplay rework would be making it so that the bomb has worse base damage, but it would scale better with charge. Either make that or make it so bad and it's worse done and the charge makes it stronger with low damage. Yeah, it needs better scaling overall. Either make that or make. I would not object to better scaling. Either make that or make it so it is done and the charge makes it longer with low damage. The only thing that's truly needed is changing the visual and sound effects of the 10 ability, because it doesn't feel. Neither makes you powerful. Oh god, the grammar in that last part. I'm trying to be the grammar police. Kinetic charge just needs a clear gameplay involvement. That's the most important thing. AQY80C says, I feel like it makes more sense to have them switching weapons as an ability instead of Blight. Blight should be gained somewhere around level 15 permanently. And like I say, Blight boost being permanent. That should not. Blight boost being a permanent would be a problem unless you could toggle it off for strategic involvement. Not gonna lie, that would make her useless. Switching weapons is a core ability of her gameplay. Without it, she would just not be as fun. Thank you! And did it cost red 9427? Also, flight is literally the only reliability she has. AQ responds, I meant for switching weapons to be her first ability, and flight would somewhere around level 15. Sorry for not clarifying. So, I don't know about that, again. Anthony 626 Omega says, for level 20, Rosalia, she should discount all tier 5 helis and ace monkeys. Actually, she does. I respond, Rosalia already discounts tier 5 for helis and ace pilots. I actually forgot about this because Anthony says, but like mega discount, and yeah, he's talking about the 30% discount, which is a fair point. Yeah. Oh my goodness. A long comment from Rumbik and complicated username. I watched both videos and this is a very valid perspective. I appreciate people who are brave enough to express this online. I'm just sharing my perspective on this one. No hate or anything. Please don't start a war in replies. There's also a shorter message at the end for people who don't want to read the entire thing summarizing it. Point 1, level 20. I agree that Rosalia's level 20 is unrealistic to use in a real game, but many other heroes also share this. There's currently 9 other heroes with the same or slower leveling who do not get to level 20 in a game without using Energizer or spending more cash. Yet people do not complain about the level 20 being useless. I feel that other levels of Rosalia have been completely overshined by the level 20 discount. Thank you! Or if we completely remove that discount part from the upgrade, I would see far less complaints about it. As for balancing, I think that changing the scale rate would be a bit too strong without an overall nerf to all her levels. I think that changing the discount to apply to more towers in exchange for a lower discount, unlike at a lower level, was better suited. I mean, to be fair, she's supposed to be efficient with aircraft, but I would not mind some expansion to spike factories and maybe tax shooters. Possibly engineers, even though that could make a two towers chimps possible because of cheaper ultra boost. Point 2, power. In my opinion, Rosalia is by no means broken nor bad. Personally, I would rank her a little above average. I don't know about above average, but she's definitely not bad. I've used her on many expert chimps runs, and I believe the main issue is lack of representation. Back in the older versions of Loonstar Division 6 and Muddy Puddles chimps, was considered unbeatable because of the power creeping at the time. Ninja Kiwi's solution was to create a new hero that could switch between grouped and single target damage over multiple lanes, aka Rosalia. However, Muddy Puddles chimps was beaten, so they didn't release the hero until now. Her main strength is on maps with little space, line of sight issues, and multiple lanes. In the patch notes, Ninja Kiwi describes Rosalia as the ability to swap weapons to handle her weaknesses exists for people who wish to play her as their sole DPS. But the power of both her weapons is bound to scale up together at a fair rate, so there's no reason not to pick a preferred weapon forever, and build the rest of your towers to cover any weaknesses left. She already has insane DPS and no weaknesses in terms of grouped versus single target. I don't know about insane DPS, honestly. Something that almost every other hero has issues with. All other heroes have some weakness, and in this case, Ninja Kiwi is referring to the camel detection. Ninja Kiwi's description also does not mention the support aspect, that although Rosalia does have some support, it's not her main intent. This makes a potential flying towers buff unrealistic. As for balancing, I would not give camel detection directly to Rosalia, but granted as part of her Ace Heli discount, this also solves one major flaw for Ace Heli natural camel. The Heli and Ace both have the camel crosspath being the middle path. This is less preferred for the top and bottom paths, and I feel it would complement nicely. While I did say support is not a major role, I took inspiration from Admiral Brickell's level 5 ability to give water towers popping all balloon types. As for the movement balance, that seems completely valid. Makes her less clunky too. I feel that Rosalia should have some camel detection, not too much, but definitely something to let her do something about DDTs. And also have scatter missiles, again, deal normal type damage, not explosion type damage at level 14, I think. Thing I suggested. Yeah. I should point out that ETN does have 2 towers chimps runs, although it does help ETN that he has global camel detection provision at level 8 and beyond. And no camel leds even come before round 58, which he should have camel detection by round 58. He should have UCAV by round 58. Rosalia does have some performance issues, I swear. Just mostly I suggest for the Carides to not fall off so horribly. And I do have a lot of suggestions for Rosalia, but let's see what they can. Right, 0.3 micro. Rosalia is quite micro-intensive, but as I mentioned on the previous video, not as micro-intensive as Geraldo and Corvus. Yeah, because Geraldo and Corvus involve a second tower card window. Rosalia thankfully doesn't. You could use hotkeys for her micro. And if you know what you're doing, she can... You can minimize the number of micro decisions. You minimize the number of micro involved moves with Rosalia. That can really help at times. In Rosalia's case, leaving her without Micro still makes her a decent hero, whereas Microless and Heraldo and Corvus are pretty useless here. Rosalia unlocks at level 25 and costs 5,000 monkey money. This prevents newer players from being overwhelmed at it. Yeah. It is important to note that this unlock is before Corvus and Heraldo, which I believe is an attempt to build micro skills in players before unlocking the heavy micro heroes. Yes! The monkey money is not there to represent power, but rather to serve as a difficulty level as well. The comment posted mentioned the power level not being worth the micro. I think the power is considered weak for micro because we are used to overpowered Heraldo and Corvus, so it appears bad in comparison. To be fair, Rosalia does have performance issues in the 90s. As for balancing, I like the idea of having level 20 being a permanent fight boost, but toned down. This is sort of like ETN's solution, where the ability just makes it stronger. Currently, the ability gives 30% speed boost and suits both lasers and grenades. I feel if you remove one of those perks, it would perfect as a permanent function at level 20. Don't think. Yeah. ETN situation. There should be a happy. I'd be fine with a happy medium, but again, it should be possible that not have to use flight boost to destroy everything ever. That would be insane. Because the flight boost ends up being a trade-off because you lose Rosalia's low range, which, as I indicate, is still helpful. So, Thank you for reading all of this. You truly are a legend for reading it. Thank you. Anyways, here's the summary for those who don't. A long thing. Level 20 power. Rosalia's, yes, level 20 power is unrealistic for real games, overshadowing her own abilities. Many heroes also struggle to reach level 20 without extra resources, but Rosalia's level 20 draws significant complaints. And moreover, only the Guardian Automaton. The activations are still busted. I'm pretty sure that applies to heroes like Open and Striker Jones. Discount adjustment. The focus on the level 20 discount is problematic. A suggestion is to remove the discount or adjust it to apply to more towers at a lower discount. You mean better discount. Available at an earlier level. Power and utility. Rosalia is above average, particularly effective on maps with limited space, line of sight issues, and multiple lanes. Limited space. I don't know about limited space. Although she is good against around 40 MOAB, but again, she can just flight boost and eat it alive. And also scatter missiles. Designed to handle both grouped and single target damage. She likes camel detection, which could be integrated into the Ace Heli and discounts to help towers pick the cross path rather than sacrificing power for camel. Rosalia is still ineffective. Except for the Moab pushback during the 90s. She's ineffective even with level 20. Support role. Rosalia's support role is minor, and adding flying power buffs is unrealistic. Her primary strength lies in her balanced DPS without specific weaknesses. Rosalia is micro-intensive, so there should be some above her performance. Not too much, but definitely something to work with. Micro and usability. Rosalia requires micromanagement. It is less intensive compared to Heraldo and Corvus. She is effective even without micromanagement, and her earlier unlock helps players develop micro skills before moving on to Heraldo and Corvus. Permanent and toned down level 20 blight boost is suggested for micro balance. The level 20 should. I definitely will want to post a response to this. Destruction 844 says the problem is she doesn't do enough damage to be considered as a main DPS tower. Yes. She also doesn't do very well with guns like Quincy. Yes, this is a case of both sides having having a point. Yeah, thank you, Double-Line, about the aces and at least not being good against DDTs. UCAB as... Oh. So, yeah. So the insane amount of micro needed for the tower has no reward that like or Corvus has. Yeah. I would place our second third on the micro 13, 14 in the hero ranking. That the micro involvement is still there, but it's not. It's just under rewarded. That's all. But the micro itself is not. It's not insane to do because you could do some smart things and you could do some smart things here and there and reduce the number of decisions and reduce the number of moves and reduce the number of micro moves. That way, it's not completely insane because Corvus and Heraldo involve a second in tower card windows. I definitely want to post a comment in response to this thread. Rumpik says, I think she definitely does enough damage to be a main DPS. Again, she's still having problems with the 90s. Well, I agree she doesn't do well with buffs. She doesn't need them. Aside from Camo, she got some of the strongest attacks in the game. Well, the laser's good, but I don't know about the grenades. It's just... Rumpik says... I mentioned this in my long point. She definitely does not have the upside of Heraldo or Corvette, but comparing to them is brutally unfair, as they were and still are relatively broken. Just because a hero can't follow chimps unreally does not make them bad. Rosalia struggles to get any 2 towers chimps, or even any pseudo 2 towers chimps. The closest... The only pseudo 2 towers chimps I've managed is Rosalia Wizard Lord Phoenix, and I do replicate the whole notion with Flight Boost and granting Camel for duration in mind. To Rosalia and nearby aces and allies, and it's doable because you get the micro against the key purple rounds, namely 45, 48, 62, which doesn't have its purples be camo, and 95, and Wizard Lord Phoenix. And well, basically nearly everything else. No micro Rosalia is stronger than no micro Heraldo and Corvus. Micro Rosalia is weaker than micro Heraldo and Corvus. Another reason to butt the grenades, though, is you have to swap the grenades. Because swapping weapons can get complicated fast. It's not switch to the second tower card window complicated that Heraldo and Corvus involve, but it's but you can get yourself confused very quickly, which does fit with Rosalia's character. Let's be fair. Destruction 844 continues the thread. I think it is completely fair to compare Rosalia with the two most heroes. Compare her to other heroes, not Heraldo and Corvus. The biggest complaint is that our level 20 main point is useless in every game mode where it should be something worth saving for. She has nothing unique, even if she's good enough to be a main DPS hero. Ahem! Round 98 Moabs! It just isn't good enough to make her a good hero when you could do less with micro, with many other heroes with equal or greater results. I.e. Quincy, who you can start with in chimps. Honestly, my biggest problem with her is her base cost being unaffordable without monkey knowledge. I don't think she can pop purples, but I could be wrong about that. Oh yeah, another point I thought about. Rosalia at her workshop having a big footprint. I think it's almost as big as I think it's as big as Churchill. I could be wrong, but it's definitely big enough to complicate ace placement and possibly heli placement. Yeah, because that means fewer towers to work with. Because my goodness, and that's one more reason she shouldn't fall off in the 90s. I mean, she has a laser, and that's good, but what about the grenade? She should have options. I think Ninja Kiwi will listen to us and change her in the upcoming updates, so I won't worry too much. I was, however, very disappointed when the new hero didn't change anything about the meta. Rombik continues on. Rombik continues the thread with its own response. So the level 20 be something worth driving for? It's all shouldn't something be done with all the heroes as a whole? Currently only 6 heroes have a faster level speed than Rosalia, meaning every other hero also shares the problem with level 20 being unreachable realistically. And continuing on, I think you are severely underestimating Rosalia's stats. She can pop purples. Yes, she can do that. And most definitely change the mana, at least on expert chimps. She has created a new start for Muddy Puddles because of her ability to get output on multiple tracks at the same time. The startup is insane with no subs and darts. I take it that he's handling things well with the... I'd like to see what he has to say about the Muddy Puddles chimps. Sneezy Weezy Boy says, Ninja Kiwi is not going to see your videos. Shadow Viper Gaming 43 says, not gonna lie, I might have seen the last one. Oh, I should upload the Rombik's comment. It's definitely a very good comment. Not gonna lie, 70,000 views. They might have seen the last one. Sneezy Weezy Boy says, nah. Well, hopefully we can get something good. P9257 says, and thanks for the offensive username, buddy. I think she herself just needs a slight range buff to make her level 7 ability actually work, while also making repositioning less mandated. Her attack range shouldn't... Her attack range is fine. Rosalia's attack range is fine. It actually works in the player's favor if they know what they're doing, because he can push back Moab. Like I keep saying. Hung Xiaowang 2049 says, Rosalia should buff the non-monkey towers because she'd be tinkering them. Something like that. Yeah, I agree. I can agree there. It's not a personal priority, although I would not object to Spike Factory being buffed. But anyway, Ador G. Ramos says sub-towers as well, like sentries and the balloon trap. That could get complicated. Saiyan says, gonna make that double extra large balloon trap and triple extra large, or quadruple extra large balloon trap. That's 4x, not 3. Although Super Destroyer Fox says, might be too hard to implement. Yes! I don't know if it's intentional or not, but a sharpening tone on engineer also buffs all sentries, which makes me think they have to have all buffs. Even though I'm pretty sure Carrier Flagship getting Ultra Boost does not buff the plain sub towers. Not that I know anything about that. No. So just saying, use the same code as this sharpening tone, because let's be real, it makes sense for her to buff engineers, but make the duration last forever and change the buff. The Bloom Champ could get more capacity, and the game already has a monkey knowledge that it so shouldn't be hard for them. I don't know. Balloons hard defense when a hero can't beat chimps on their own. Oh, forget chimps. What about 2 towers chimps? Like, again, the closer she gets to 2 towers chimps, it's Wither Lord Phoenix, and even that's a pseudo TC because. But all you'd need is all Rosalia would need would be to handle camels suitably by round 45, and Bob's your uncle, because round 95. Because round 95, you could just strategically use the impact missiles to white purples. Then you could just use white boost and use impact missiles to white purples, and then Wizard Lord Phoenix's activation can wipe those DDTs. And round 99, there's no camels on round 98 to begin with. It's just the BFB, it's just a fortified BFB parade and accommodating, oh my god. Bloons Hard Defense 6 when a hero can't read. And a joke comment, or exaggeration comment. When I wouldn't even try to accomplish that, lol. Mocking others' opinions without even understanding that. Thank you! Caballo 404 says, it's pretty outright noticeable she doesn't keep up with some of the other heroes. Certainly not as bad as Open, but she has incredibly limited range without micro. Yeah. The limited range can actually work in Rosalia's favor, though. There is some performance issues going on. That's the problem. Even when you start doing micros, until she starts playing track, moving her around feels incredibly clunky, and she simply doesn't have the reward for the micro compared to Geraldo or Corvus. I believe Geraldo and Corvus are supposed to have better micro reward. Rosalia should have good enough micro reward. So and as for the flying above the track, I'd be fine with that being moved to level 8, because level 7 she's already good enough without it. Like level 7, and in fact, she even mauls the round 40 Moab. Just seriously. It's not a case of her needing the soul of chimps. There's a reason that those accomplishments are viewed as power creep. It's a case of her own damage being low, and a few support perks she gets being either unlocked too late or not having a strong enough effect. Comparing her to the other micro heroes, she's pathetically weak, so the players who are okay with the micro don't get the reward for their effort. And comparing her to the place and forget heroes, she simply doesn't have the support or the raw damage to be worth picking. She tried to be too much. As fun as her concept is, she fails almost everything she tried to do. Everything. Round 98 Moabs. Destruction 844 says, the problem is she doesn't do anything special. There's no reason to use Rosalia over any better hero. Round 98 Moabs. And Mayro says, I honestly think Oben is better than her. He might not be being a starter in chimps anymore, but recently the buffs he got and changed his niche a lot and made him overall more useful. Bramble is now a really good level 3 ability. I think Bramble still falls off in the 90s. The shorter cooldown I recall they got is still welcome, granted, but Bramble's also does anybody care about Bramble's lifespan during the 90s? I don't think anybody does. I think Wall of Trees now also generate more money per RBE, or perhaps they can hold more balloons and thus generate more. Wall of Trees doesn't generate extra money on chimps, but they do hold more RBE, 9,001 to be precise. And if you have Wall of Trees, then when the ability goes off on the cooldown near the track, Open will generate huge amounts in a few rounds. which can quickly snowball with its druid support to make giant druid farms. I did that in my last run in an intermediate map on hard mode. It was pretty cool. Plus the fact that he gets most of his more levels and pretty early, including Druid Camo and Nature's Clarity. Yeah, the Druid Camo is definitely neat. Rosalia is not hopeless. She definitely should cut down some performance buffs, like I mentioned. Another thing by Anime Mero, Rosalia's micro is comparable to Corvus' micro, given how both need to use their micro options, and while mid-round, while Geraldo doesn't. Yeah, Rosalia has not had the reward as Corvus nor Geraldo. Rosalia does need more reward, but Rosalia doesn't need to swap to the second tower window like Geraldo and Corvus do. And then T-Bot in 1187 says, she doesn't have the DPS necessary to be an offensive hero, and she doesn't have the support capability to be a support hero, so she ends up being a jack of all trades. That's bad in both categories. Laser's actually good throughout the entire game. Grenades just feels too much like a requirement at this point, because it's hopelessly inept in the 90s in general. Yet in the 20s and 30s, you switch to it just to address particular problems. So, yeah, grenade doesn't feel very good. Default grenade needs to be better. So that it's more of an option, but more of an option rather than a freaking requirement. I can particularly point out that grenade doesn't even damage black balloons or zebra balloons, so that also hampers its usability. That also hampers its power in the 30s, because there's plenty of blacks and zebras in the 30s. Drippy Joe says, "Bro, I was just outside sweating this morning. Anyway, I think all of the buffs you suggested were very possible to add. Well, besides the silly double anti-balloon suggestion, but the two I agree with the most are: 1. Lowering Rosalia's leveling curve as reaching higher level to acquire her better abilities and perks. It's actually really tough at the moment. Again, the problem is Rosalia's performance. And 2, the one goes hand in hand with buff one, and that is to have her become an anti-tower buffing hero. Striker Jones must explosive towers. Actually, Striker Jones eventually buffed the other towers. Gwendolyn does. Well, Striker Jones primarily buffed explosive towers. I believe it's level 8 and now buffs all towers. Gwendolyn buffs fire towers. Heated up buffs all towers. And Brickhouse buffs the water towers. Well, that's a fair point. So why shouldn't Rosalia buff air towers? It would work very well. Give her a few more pros that can help her compete with stronger heroes and fits well into the uniformity of the game. But in conclusion, I feel that all of these changes could be possible. Not all together, but individually they're great. These are definitely some very good ones, yes. Wait a minute. Enemy Manual says, I think honestly, putting Rosalia at the same experience rate as base heroes might be too much. There could be a new experience rate tech for Rosalia where she requires 1.2 times experience than the base heroes. Putting her in an intermediate between the 1.0 experience and 1.425 experience tag. Unrelated, but I definitely want to know opinions on Sai. I just like the hero since maybe I got it, but maybe I'm using it wrong. So I could use, they could need 1.425 times experience instead of 1.5 experience. Definitely a deserve, but albeit small. Sai's been getting better, and the design's been has felt less acidine as time has gone on. I mean, granted, the activations are still useless against the BAD, but at least you could. But at least you get it. But at least the following still proves itself useful. I'm just worried about one of his passives that deals damage and that does that. I'm just worried about life and splash damage. That's the most glaring thing. Leonard Trujillo 8661 says, so I can work well on intermediate maps. Plus, and is it basically a free win on 98 if you have level 17? Enemy Nero. So that is a point. Side does cost a little more, but he does pay off easily, and you just have to watch out for purple and lip balloons initially. Enemy Nero says, I kind of bought Sign to help with the advanced expert map, so I kind of got disappointed with what I got. Shadow Viper gaming this. Oh, this is a pinned comment thread. I've already reached the end of this. So. Sorry, dang. Oh, I just realized I haven't had breakfast yet. Okay. I'll set this up. Here's my comments. Okay. Mm. Right. So I got to eating my breakfast at 3 p.m. So while I wait for WM to return from his errand, I may as well read off any for the new comments. Oh, only one new comment. Rincor SME says, personally, she needs a damage boost. I'm very confident that the only hero that does less damage than Rosalia is Ben, and even then, I'm not sure, not that confident. Seriously, her damage is horrendous. Get rid of micro completely. No! Just no! I do not understand why the first 7 heroes require 0 micro, then suddenly, even a not micro intensive hero requires micro to not completely suck. That's an absolute miss. Why do people keep misquoting Rohan's people's comment about Rosalia saying Rohan said Rosalia is set and forget. She's conditionally set and forget. And Rohan's people even suggested using tech bots, which whatever. Yeah, the actual buff to flying towers would be nice. And of course, as discussed previously, what even is going on with her level 20? I think we are focusing too much on not making her too strong. When the existing heroes have some absolute monsters on the roster. Not just Geraldo, who generally needs a nerf to stop being the best pick in every scenario. We have heroes like Sada, Adora, even Etienne that can contribute like 1.5 million damage in a 2-tower run. And honestly, heroes Quincy and Gwen, Open, Churchill, they're not bad heroes. They're all pretty strong. Just that you most likely aren't using them because they are not as strong as the top heroes. Do we really need a hero that doesn't even match these in terms of damage support usefulness? And as I point out, Rosalia is so top heavy on the laser. So that didn't amount to much. What was the thing with let me see the blasted? I wish my cell phone would let me see the blasted timestamps. And I need some milk. Mm. Heck. So I may as well go over my comment finally. Let's read off what I had to say. I made a topic on the Steam Community Hub titled Rosalia Rebalance Existence that I was able to share with Rohan's people just last night. The most important thing is that Rosalia is meant to be a utility by involving position to let her hit mobs specifically with the enhanced laser, which is uniquely valuable on round 98, and we should build around points like that. I do also agree that Rosalia should get her own ability to hit camels at some reasonable point. I simply don't think that Rosalia should get auto flight boost at any point, nor should she have a better level curve. Let her be unique, and I put in bold and italics simultaneously. I'll go ahead and recite my suggestions here. First, Rosalia's, well, these suggestions are not in the same order as I put them in topic. They're in different categories, but I will get that. I may as well go over each of them. Rosalia's movement speed increased by 25%. Because, as I point out, Rosalia's movement feels languid even on fast forward. So, I mean, it's not hopelessly bad, but it could be better. It clearly could be better. Just why does it feel a bit slow? If possible, Rosalia should attack while positioning while under movement order. This is something that other people are suggesting as well. I'm pretty sure this would be possible because Rosalia does this, moves and attacks at the same time while under flight boost. That should not be a flight boost privilege. And that would be my number two suggestion. My number one suggestion would be for flight boost that. Well, I'll get to that. But yeah. Oh, right. Now I should talk about what I'm suggesting. Where is it? Here we go. Like those grenades and Rosalia and nearby aces of Heli's camo detection for duration. Also applying the scatter missile and kinetic charge. And and let's remember that middle pass for aces and Heli's have innate camo detection, so the activations work with the camo detection unconditionally, but not Rosalia's activations. Oh no. Anyway, this is my number one suggestion. Grant Rosalia and nearby Aces/Ellie's camo detection for duration. Also applying the scanner missiles and kinetic charge. I'll talk more about that. But this is my number two suggestion, really. Or actually, I could place that at number three because Adrenaline Rush is still sketch. I do provide a nerf suggestion in return. Hovering placement moves from level 7 to level 8. But this is really for description cleanup. It would not be a ridiculous nerf because Rosalia still eats the round 40 Moab alive. Not many heroes can claim that effectively. And she's still plenty good against rainbows. The laser's still plenty good in general in the 30s and 40s. So yeah, that's something. So I do have several suggestions for grenades. Because grenades are simply undertuned and gimmicky. First is the base explosion, dealing 1 extra damage across all levels, level 5 and above, because 2 damage doesn't cut it, because 2 damage turns, because let's see, 2 damage, because the laser deals significantly more damage, especially at level 5. I think gets a pierce buff. Let me check. I know I had a. Oh, here we go. Laser level 5. 5 damage, 6 pierce. Yeah, 6 pierce. Commemorative grenade level 5 having 2 damage, 8 pierce, 3 explosions. It's. Yeah, the laser's far more valuable because it can deal so much damage in the 30s, 40s. And so much damage in the 30s and 40s. And the enhanced laser never falls off. The grenade has so many problems though. Yeah, the grenade damage is so lackluster. Like, the grenade damage is 3 damage at level 8, which does turn a rainbow into pinks, but it does. Before grenade is going to turn a full health ceramic into blacks whites, I believe, because that's 12 damage. I mean, granted, one extra damage, which just reduce the number of hits the ceramics turn into blacks whites, but it would be better than nothing. Like, you could potentially skip both the zebra and black white layer of ceramics, and that's critical for round 63. I mean, granted, for round 63, impact missiles in health. Impact scatter missiles does destroy 1 cluster of ceramics if you're interested in using that. But otherwise, because seriously, why doesn't the seriously, why don't grenades deal more damage? Nearly half the level 15 bonus applying to lights. This is really to add the effectiveness against DDTs. And assuming grenades can even damage DDTs, but I'll get to that, don't worry. Damage attacks inflict a further 50% damage, truncated percent. Spelling error, grammar error here. Truncated versus and lead ceramics. It's supposed to be truncated versus lead and ceramics. I am in silly Billy. But anyway, yeah, extra damage against lead and ceramics. That would help grenade a lot. Being confident, and that's what I'd addedly stack with the current level 15 benefit of plus 100% as well, because actually I think lead ceramics would become, I think the damage against ceramics level 8 would become 8, or become 6 with this, which would have 2 hits and still cost the blacks whites thing, but layer skipping would be so much easier just by poking all the individual ceramics. So Rosalia would be able to work with grenade default, which is one of the most important things. And moreover, Rosalia needs something against super ceramics. Damage attacks receive 50% extra pierce rounded up at level 15. Because let's face it, the grenades just have too little pierce. Because what's their pierce amount? Grenades have 8 pierce. I don't think their pierce ever improves, but the laser gets 10 pierce at level 13. The regular laser, I mean. The enhanced laser at 12 pierce, by the way. I mean, okay, the grenades have explosions, but how much good is that? I mean, there's the bouncing, sure, but I'm not sure that helps enough. Basic wasn't inflicting very brief stun to Moab's DDTs and unlimbs starting at level 12, because seriously, there needs to be some utility to the grenades. Even something very brief, as long as it's doing something against Moabs and DDTs, even something very brief is helpful. Non-glimpse, the sun can be actually good. It doesn't have to be overwhelming, but as long as you can use the grenades that blow things up. Oh, and damage type becomes normal at level 15. Turning ceramics into blacks, whites, or even zebras is still a fair point for round 63, but not the 90s, which really hampers grenades, even under flight boost, because Rosalia turns a super ceramic into black balloon or a zebra balloon, and suddenly Rosalia needs to waste laser shots on it. It gets annoying fast. So yeah, damage type becomes normal at level 15. And this would also help against DDTs, even if you wouldn't use the grenades for DDTs specifically. And with the lead damage bonus that I'm suggesting, this would stack. Laser now, for the most part, I'm fine with laser in general, aside from a few hiccups. Although it's possible that Adrenaline Rush being improved would actually improve laser anyway, so like, I suggest bonus damage of 100% versus lead, stacking additively with limp damage starting at level 15. Because, again, Rosalia should have answers to DDTs. Struggling against even seeing DDTs, even in small numbers, it's ridiculous. Enhanced laser. Enhanced laser. Knockback duration both be more variable like against different length sizes, with significant favoritism of pushing back mobs and DDTs. I have successed at 1.25 times in the current for mobs and DDTs because they should be affected the most by the enhanced laser. And then reduce the amount against DFEs and ZOMGs. I'd be more open to cleaner. I'd be up in the cleaner mat, especially keeping in mind that Adrenaline Rush needs to be buffed, and Adrenaline Rush being buffed would buff enhance laser's frequency. But yeah, Rosalia needs to be less top heavy on the. I'm pushing back BFBs and ZOMGs because that really messes with her bouncing. That's really a big mess. Scattered missiles gets 1 buff improvement. Damage type improvement. Damage type improved to normal type at level 14 plus because. Once again, it's fine that it doesn't damage lax at level 10. Whatever level Rosalia is expected to be at for round 63. But at level 14, yeah, it gets a little tiring. And scatter missiles not doing any damage to DDTs, even at level 20, is particularly heinous. Especially when scattered missiles. When scattered missile, it's never going to cover the entirety of round 95. You would need other things to address round 95 in the first place. But being able to say, I DDD, buy DDDs, it would, just by having Rosalia feel it would be something. And now we have Flight Boost. Well, first off, this is an option. We have any movement order simply be put on Q to only be handled upon Flight Boost completion. But I don't think this would be a good idea in hindsight because the real problem is the lack of attacking while repositioning under a movement order because why is that a thing? Why is that a thing with somebody kinetic like Rosalia? And you can't tell me Rosalia can't move and attack at the same time because she can move and attack at the same time when doing Flight Boost. She does that. No. But yeah, putting the movement order on Q can interfere with any potential micro, with any bad chases. I mean, bad chases shouldn't be a problem in the first place, but gosh. I'll go over this last, but not least. I'm going over this first because level 7 to level 17 cooldown timer reduced from 45 seconds to 47 seconds. Level 18 plus remains at 25 seconds because I do feel that Flight Boost should have some. Should be easier to use, but I am open to increasing the active time of level 7 and beyond to 25 seconds because. And yes, 25 seconds instead of the current 20 seconds. Because that would reduce the annoyance people have with Flight Boost needing to be pressed again and again. I mean, Rosalia is not supposed to be an easy hero to use, but there's supposed to be some ease of use with her, at least after Geraldo and Corvus, as that guy said. But anyway, kinetic charge. I do end up suggesting for damage nerfs overall, aside from the max damage for level 20. But what is around is still going to be fine as long as you can. Because level 10 base damage reduced from 1500 to 1000. Because the max added damage for kinetic charge, if you're wondering, is 3000, and this would allow a nice round number. And I suppose the added damage could be multiplied by 1.25 just to make that mechanic more coherent, because seriously, I'm not sure it's top well. The most you can go with is Rosalia. The most you can go off of, aside from maybe the level 10 description, I had to check what that's about. It's Rosalia saying, "Attack my target." And she places the kinetic charge mine on a. I can point out that kinetic charge is basically a miniature version of Mega Mine, and it does have the drawback of not skipping layers. So still, the scaling does need. Still, there is some scaling issues with that mechanic. That's a shame, because it's an interesting mechanic. In fact, I think if you place a kinetic charge and mix in a Moab Eliminator shot, or Moab Eliminate, or even a Moab Assassin activation, then yeah, you could. I believe that would deal a lot of damage to the Moab, and then that would allow for insane amounts of damage with the kinetic charge. But yeah, it could easily Moab farm. Although, like I suggested, Rosalia can make use of the Moab farm to do a lot of pushback, and end up with a heightened ceramic to Moab ratio for the end of pass towers. Oh, and yes, 9001. It's over 9,000! Oh, and quality of life improvement. Lifespan increased to 1 extra round. It is annoying to use the kinetic charge at the end of a round so that you can prepare for the next round, but oops, you shouldn't have done that. Because now you start the next round without the kinetic charge, and the autosave starts you at the next round with the kinetic charge and cooldown. Fun! Spoiler alert, no it's not. And of course, adrenaline rush. Goodness, is it forgettable. I actually suggest for the speed boost rate to be improved at a rate per level, and then multiply based on what I'm suggesting for the speed boost cap. I have Rosalia attack slightly faster at levels 4 to 10, then significantly faster at levels 11 to 17, so effectively she'd have 60% attack rate. I'd be willing to go with a lower cap, and 100% cap at level 18. Again, I'd be willing to go with a lower cap there, but as long as adrenaline rush is more reliable. Adrenaline rush needs to be more sensible in general, and especially more reliable, because I think that's the biggest cause of Rosalia's fall off. Adrenaline rush problems. Well, to be sure, problems with even visible DDTs is something that suffocates Rosalia. Just Yeah, like I tell people, let me know what they think. And one person, only Keith Malone, says level 20 should be reworked too, but level 20's missing the point that comment mentioned. So that takes care of it. Before I end up the stream, yeah, looking for any new comments. Anything within the last time frame? Three hours ago. Oh, here we go. Mario Sane in 6236 simply says, I praise you for your patience and how much you wrote. Yeah, I'm definitely going to respond to this guy as soon as I end the stream. But, yeah, I'll let this leave this on for a few minutes so that this gets registered at the thumbnail. Part of me would want to provide the point of my suggestions comment, but not much I can do about that. Actually, what am I thinking? Yoo-hoo, YouTube.
Like the Century Champion as it really is. But since obviously I made a video talking about
I don't know. Yeah. There's the entire video and its comments so far. I think I can go ahead and